recorded that.
Oh, that's good.
It's the first
Are we?
sound
Is
of
that
the
our?
podcast.
You know, some podcasts open with like a noise or like a little bit of a track.
Yeah. No, that's our clapper. That's how we
For
sync
like
the
how
audio.
we know like
Yeah.
if the the audio.
I mean, there's no video with this to sync.
Well, maybe we could have like a waveform generator, so it's like waves go up and down when we talk.
Okay.
If we upload it to YouTube. Don't know how
Can
you
you
do
do
that.
that?
Yeah, but there's probably something online.
Because that would, it goes with the logo.
Yeah.
If we could
Oh,
get
yeah, that's
that
true.
to work.
That'd be interesting.
But anyway, here, this is Ep 1.
EP1.
EP colon.
Or would it
1.
be EP? Do we want to do an episode 0? And it's like this really bizarre,
okay.
abstract thing? I don't know.
I don't know. You know what we should do? We should, instead of numbers, like write it out. Like O-N-E.
Okay. That'd
It's a
be
little
interesting.
classier. Episode
Yeah.
1.
Would this be considered the pilot, you know? Would we show
Roman
this to...
numerals.
Oh.
We should do it in Roman numerals so it gets really confusing
As we
have
keep
a lot.
going.
Yeah.
And
M is what though?
is that a million? A mundred?
I think mega.
Yeah.
Mega is a million.
Yeah, that worked out well. It's interesting.
Is
Times 10 to the 6.
giga's a billion?
Times 10 to the 9, so yeah. And then after that, I just ignore it. Like Yoda, Terra,
I think
Peta.
Terra comes first.
I think it would be
A
Terra, Peta, Yoda. Or it's T, so not Yoda, but Yota.
Femto is really small, right?
Yeah. It's like times 10 to the minus 12.
This is incredibly interesting.
Hey, you know,
some,
SI units. That's something we could look at.
Yeah,
We could talk about SI units.
So this podcast is going to be
About SI units.
okay. We'll have Roman numerals and then like a colon and then like
The Newton. We're going to talk about force today.
Okay, newtons. I'm good at that. What is a newton?
It's the force required to accelerate an object that is 1 kilogram by an acceleration of 1 meter per second squared. So it's all standard like that, yeah.
So it's movement based.
Don't ask me about pounds force and pounds mass and the difference between them.
Because no one uses pounds anymore. It's all
No.
kilograms.
Yeah.
Do you know what a calorie is?
No, I don't.
It's the amount of energy needed to heat 1 cubic centimeter of water 1 degree Celsius.
That's it. Yeah, okay.
I love that shit. It's so interesting.
And that works okay for the human body. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
it's a perfect, it's not too crazy. Like 2,000 a day, that's about, well, I'm trying to be in a deficit because I'm trying to
lose weight.
I'm trying to burn some of these I'm trying to heat up some of these cubic centimeters, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, if you start working out, that would help. But, diet should come first.
Yeah, you're right. Probably if I did something other than sitting in a chair all day.
Yeah, well,
I'm-
what's
what?
this podcast about?
I don't know.
Because we're not going to do SI units.
Do you know what a horsepower is?
No, not really.
I don't know what the actual unit is, but it's the amount of energy needed to move a 75 kilogram object, which is like average human weight,
Oh, okay. That makes
like
sense.
a meter in a second.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's like human based.
Not horse-based in the slightest.
No, exactly.
You can't talk about like, I've got 75,000
Maybe a
horses
small
under
horse,
the engine.
like a baby horse, a colt.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to Wikipedia. Maybe Wikipedia.
Look
will
at
have
some things.
podcasts.
Well, yeah, some good ideas for it.
Okay. Okay. Podcast. A podcast is an episodic series. Episodic. Does it have to be episodic?
Well, there's a lot of podcasts that don't follow an episodic formula, but
I don't know.
what if you do a podcast that's just one take?
I thought you were going to say, what if you do a podcast that just never ends?
It's just one live podcast.
Yeah, forever. That would be amazing.
Where does the term podcast come from? Oh, it comes from the iPod.
Yeah, a portmanteau of broadcast and iPod.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah, because no one uses iPods anymore. I don't think anyone owns a functioning iPod.
Yeah, only in like museums. I do like people still use the iPod Nano because it is good for just playing music. If you want something small
Clip
like
it
that.
to your arm.
Yeah.
Clip to your arm skin. All right, what are we gonna do, like for our podcast?
That's a good point. Ooh, podcast novels. That's something we could do.
We could read novels.
Or maybe...
Or like a radio play?
Yeah, a radio play, like detective noirs,
Yeah,
and
okay.
that could be us.
All right, I'm up for that.
Do you got a pair of shoes that I could like?
We'll do our own Foley.
I
Foley.
walked into the office, lit up a
Peeking the
cigarette.
mic, by the way.
Lit up a cigarette. That's
Hey,
right.
that was good. That was
Yeah.
good. You flicked a band of scotch tape.
I put my glasses on.
You're already wearing glasses.
Get the sound.
What's it like wearing glasses, by the way?
It's okay. You don't notice it after a while. Like if you have a really tired morning, you forget you're even wearing them, and you're like, "Where are my glasses?" Especially as someone who's nearsighted, it's sometimes hard to notice.
So that means you can see close to you, but you just can't see far away. So they're like driving glasses, basically.
Pretty much. Well, like, it's good to always wear them for me.
Yeah.
A doctor suggested that I don't wear them when I'm reading, but I don't think it would make a difference on my eyesight.
It's not gonna make it better.
I've always been curious, can eyesight improve? Because I've heard that some people just stop wearing glasses. Like Garrett, he stopped wearing glasses just suddenly.
Because his were just for reading. He was farsighted. Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if he just
I wonder
pretended.
if he just said fuck it. Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't much of an avid reader.
Wow.
Oh, we got sidetracked here. We're doing a podcast right now.
We're talking about Garrett, which is bound to happen a billion times.
This is the Garrett segment of the show. Oh, do we want to do segments at all in our podcast? Like in the news.
We could do a news segment. I'm up for that.
Or do you want to keep it contained to just one thing? Like, maybe we could just read Wikipedia articles. That would be a good idea.
Want to just read Wikipedia articles?
Yeah. And maybe if we ever do a news segment, we read the Wikipedia article for the disaster.
All right.
So we only cover the big things.
All right. Where are we gonna upload our podcasts to?
Well, let's see. On Wikipedia, there is a list of podcatchers,
All right.
which is an interesting term.
Well, there's iTunes. We could upload to iTunes.
That's true. Do you have to pay if it's a free upload?
Ooh, I don't know.
You might need to get a license. Maybe not there. Maybe you could.
We could upload to Music Bee.
What is Music Bee?
Well, it has its own Wikipedia article. Is a freeware media player for playback and organization of audio files.
It is a proprietary program that was last updated 2 years ago and is only for Windows.
No, stable release, August 15th, 2019.
Yeah, but that's... Oh, really? I guess they didn't update these latest release date.
Came out in 2008. That's 1 year after the original Transformers film.
Such a great movie.
And Night at the Museum. Remember Night at the Museum?
With Ben Stiller. In my mind, like, Ben Stiller and Adam Sandler have this weird overlap. I don't know if it's because they're part of the same crony scam for movies, but...
There's a couple crony scams out there. There's the Adam Sandler one with all of his, like
schlock
Joe
movies.
What's his name again?
I don't remember.
David Spade.
Yeah, that's it.
That's his name, right?
I want to look
and
at his
then
face right
Paul Blart. I don't remember. Kevin James.
I hope it's not all just a scam, but it probably is.
It's a money scam.
I mean, David Spade's in a lot of TV shows.
Oh, I know.
Like, not really popular ones. I don't watch TV anymore, so...
Me neither.
What was the name of it? It's this really weird... Ugh, yeah.
If it ain't Joe Dirt, I ain't watching.
Oh, he's the host of a show. Lights Out with David Spade. Let's go to the Wikipedia article for Lights Out with David Spade.
Oh, he's, like, titular. He's, like, in the title.
It's literally one line.
What?
Lights Out with David Spade is an
Stub
American
article?
late-night talk show hosted by David Spade. The series premiered on Comedy Central on July 29th, 2019. Episodes. July/August. There's a list of episodes, and that's it.
Oh.
So nothing notable has really happened on Late Night with David Spade.
He was a guest on Norm Macdonald's Netflix
That's
show.
right.
Did you watch that?
I've watched a bunch of YouTube clips from his, what's the show called?
Well, it's not his podcast.
Okay, I've probably just listened to the
clips
podcast.
of his show of his podcast, but yeah, it was good. He had Jane Fonda on, and he was all like weird and like lonely and like vulnerable, like, and he was like kissing her hand and stuff, and it was very uncomfortable. Maybe
Norm
that's
was
just,
or David was?
Norm was. It was Norm and Jane Fonda. Maybe that's just my read on it, but
You got to be careful with that kind of
it
stuff.
felt odd. Is all I'm saying.
Let's look at Norm. Is he married right now?
No, I don't. Well, maybe he has a son
Mm-hmm.
who's like in his 20s.
I wonder if his son looks like him. Probably does.
Not really.
Oh, really?
I've seen him.
Because it's pretty distinct face shape.
Yeah, he's got that moon pie face.
A really Canadian face.
Yeah, truly,
And
he's a
voice.
very Canadian man.
I think he's a good representation of all of Canada.
Yeah, did you know his brother is like a news anchor or something? He's like
Really?
a successful guy in like Canadian broadcasting. Yeah,
It's good to hear.
yeah. The Macdonalds are.
Oh, let's look at Norm Macdonald's influences and views on comedy. It says his influences are Bob Newhart, Leo Tolstoy, really, Bob Hope,
He always talks
Sam
about Bob Hope on the podcast.
Kinison. Who is Sam Kinison? Oh, a stand-up comedian and
He
actor.
died, right? Is it-
Bob Hope?
No, well, yeah, Bob Hope has been fucking.
Well,
He's been dead for like 50 years.
The picture on Wikipedia is black and white. And is that with Rodney Dangerfield? So I imagine Sam Kinison is dead, and Dennis Miller.
Hmm.
I imagine he's still alive.
I would have no idea. I don't know who barely any of those people are. But yeah, he's been said to be a comics comic. He does comedy that comedians like really appreciate.
Yeah.
But to other people, because like he's the funniest fucking guy ever, but the stuff he's saying is not funny at all. It's 100%
Yeah.
his delivery, and it's magical.
He's got like, it's almost like a, not dad delivery, but it's something like that where
Deadpan.
it's just deadpan. Like,
He can say the craziest shit, and everyone just laughs at it. Did you see the one with Super Dave Osborne? It was the first episode of his podcast.
no, I don't think
And he was
so.
like, they had a segment called Jokes, where they would just read jokes that Norm had written, and
Yes.
he was like,
Who comes up with these?
but like Super Dave was like, one of the jokes that Norm read was like, a gold chain would make a good retirement gift for a very, very good slave. and then Super Dave just like looks at the camera like, did you just say that? Like he's freaking out.
Oh.
Did you just say that? I read it, yes. Oh my god.
Yeah, I read it.
Who writes these?
Oh,
Super
here's-
Dave died. Bob Einstein.
Huh. That's sad. I mean, it had to happen eventually, but you know.
I might be wrong, but I think he's the brother of Mel Brooks. Or
I
one,
wouldn't-
one
I
of those
wouldn't
big
know.
comedy guys. I gotta look it up. But he didn't change his name when he got into showbiz. It's still Einstein.
Oh yeah, well with the Actors Guild, you're often like not forced to change your name, but it's highly suggested.
Look it up. Bob
While you
Einstein.
look that up, I'll read a quote from Norm Macdonald.
Okay.
He wanted to do more comedy in Canada when he was first starting out.
Al Brooks.
Now I know there's more of like an industry there. Like I was happy that Brent Butt got Corner Gas because he's a really funny guy. Oh, we should read from the Corner Gas wiki.
Yes.
That could be an episode or like
Fucking-
a filler episode. But there was an opportunity when I was there. I remember Mike Macdonald had one short-lived series, but that was about it. Otherwise, there was nothing to do. But it was great with stand-up. It was way, way better with stand-up than in the United States. Like, I think the stand-ups are generally much better in Canada, because, like, when I was in Canada, none of us had the ambition to movies or TV, because there were no movies or television. So it was all stand-up that we just assumed we'd be stand-ups for our whole lives. And that was fun. So yeah, he was, really into the art of it. You know?
Yeah. Did you watch his new special? It was like something in Hitler's dog. I forget what it was, but like, you think about Hitler's dog? That thing loved him. But Bob Einstein's brother is Albert Brooks,
Okay.
which you probably did you ever see Drive? I mean, that's not by far not his most famous role.
Russ Cargill in the Simpsons
Well, he
movie.
was Hank Scorpio.
Oh.
You remember?
Oh, was he the like main antagonist basically, like the agent who was coming to close the dome?
I think so.
Yeah, like the FDA.
He's got a
agent.
great voice. He was Well, what's the dad in Finding Nemo?
Marlin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was Marlin.
That's a really like good husk.
He's
like
he's got. So yeah, he was Bob
a
Einstein's
breath
brother.
to that voice, Good dad voice.
But Super Dave, that's such like a funny. Have you seen any of that stuff?
No?
It's just such like Super Dave. It's so funny. I'll look it up. We'll impose.
Yeah, you need photos. You got to see the people you're talking about sometimes.
Yeah.
Just know their face. The eyes are the gateway to the soul.
Where is it again? King of the Road. This is one of my favorites. So basically, he's just talking about. There's a lot of setup, but I'm not gonna bore people with it. But he's just like he's singing the song "King of the Road" and saying like, he's on the road. He's doing a thing
He's
where
king of the road.
He's trying to get people to. I forget. Be safe. Be safe around the road.
On top of a bus.
Yeah, so he's sitting on top of the bus. Sorry, I'm skipping ahead here. There's a lot of setup for it.
I'm trying to...
But then he'll just like superimpose his voice going like, oh, like, basically the whole bit is he'll like get horribly injured and then they'll just like ADR his voice over this dummy that's just like fucked up on the ground. It's the funniest shit ever.
That's just a good
God.
bit. That's a classic pull out the rug.
Yeah, it's really funny because there's so much setup for that specific bit. There's like it's like 6 minutes long. But yeah, he died this year, January 2nd.
Oh, wow. Ooh, Norm Macdonald is apolitical. That's interesting.
Yeah, he. I think he has the philosophy that he like,
I imagine he just doesn't want to like upset people, despite how controversial he can be.
Yeah, that too. Sort of. He's. I think it was on his podcast, but he was just like shitting on, like if you watch like, I don't know, like, who's like the late night TV guys?
Like Letterman.
Well, he's gone.
Oh, that's true. Conan, maybe.
Shows like that, yeah. Who's the guy who looks like the TF2 medic?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't remember his name, but I don't know. If you watch those shows, it's just like that's all they talk about.
Trump. Like, Stephen Colbert.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
you got it.
Yeah. Trevor Noah.
Yeah.
The jokes just aren't funny anymore. I don't know.
Like, there's only so many ways you can call the guy stupid and fat.
And like John Oliver is it's the same formula, or like there'll just be a strange Photoshop that his like team did, and it's like, look at this picture. We didn't have a use for it, so we just threw it in here.
I love seeing Dan Gerwich on. He's like an editor or a writer or something over there, but he was an old College Humor guy. Do you remember Hardly Working?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like he's in some of the Photoshops. They like use him, and it's like I recognize him from fucking 2010.
Oh, here we go. In an interview in June 2012, Macdonald was asked if he finds satire involving Donald Trump funny, to which Macdonald responded, "Personally, with comedy, I think if it doesn't make you laugh 100 years from now, what good is it? Have you listened to Mort Sahal album lately? The Eisenhower stuff is a little weak." He added of Trump, people say stuff like, "You gotta wake up. Trump and his boys are trying to take over. There's a coup going on." That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I don't know much, but when it comes to coups are not undertaken by the President of the United States. If anything, it looks like a coup is going on the other way. They're talking about impeaching a guy before any investigation has begun. Sounds like a centrist to me. I don't know about you.
I don't know. That's very true, though. If it doesn't hold out in 100 years, because he's thinking long term. His idol is like fucking Bob Hope. Let's look up Bob Hope's Wikipedia article.
Who are the other guys? There's Don Rickles. I find
he died at the age of 100.
Oh wow!
In 2003. God damn.
He made it.
He was born in 1903. Yeah, like Jesus H. Christ.
But Don Rickles and Rodney Dangerfield. Rodney less so, but I really find Don Rickles stuff still funny.
Oh,
There's
see.
something
I haven't watched any of Don Rickles.
Yeah, we need to watch some of those clips.
He's like the king of roasts, right? That's
yeah,
what,
like his Reagan roast is pretty funny.
Oh, okay.
He's just not afraid to like.
Well,
whip
Norm
it out.
Macdonald did a roast on Clinton.
That's right.
There's footage of that on the internet. You know what we should watch? Amos and Andy Meet the Wolfman.
What is that? Amos? It's like the name from Moby Dick, isn't it? Or am I thinking of Seamus? Captain Amos? I don't remember. Ahab.
I've never...
What's the first line of Moby Dick? It's "Call me Ishmael," I think so.
Call me Ishmael, yeah.
Yeah, famous line. It was the best of days. It was the worst of days. That's like A Tale of Two Cities.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
Yeah.
Meet the... Why did I type world? Meet the
Fockers.
Wolf. Meet the Fockers. Yeah.
Dude, Robert De Niro.
Alvin and the Chipmunks meet the Wolfman.
Dude, Robert De Niro's like grumpy.
No, who am I thinking of? It's not Amos and Andy. It's a different comedy duo. There were so many comedy duos.
Mm-hmm.
Abbott and Costello.
That's it.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, we should watch one of those.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen what was it again? It was an old. It was a Mel Brooks comedy, Young Frankenstein. Have you seen that?
No.
It's really good.
Who did Who's on Second?
Funny.
Was it? It wasn't Abbott and Costello. It was someone else.
I don't know. I've never heard of that.
Who's on Second? Or Who's on First?
Who's on?
It's
first?
the one about
Abbott and
baseball.
Costello. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, that's a funny one. Well, like not to make me laugh funny, but make me like exhale from my nose funny.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we could do Who's on First.
Abbott and Costello.
We could do the delivery. What
were their names? Bud Abbott and Lou Costello. You know who was great? Fucking Jackie Gleason. Let's look up Jackie Gleason. He was the funniest fucking guy ever. Did you ever see Smokey and the Bandit?
No. Oh, that's something we should watch.
We have to watch that because like holy shit, his character's name is Buford T. Justice. He's like this. It's so good. It's so fucking good.
So what's the plot basically?
Burt Reynolds is they have to get beer to like a dry event or like a dry county from far away. So they're paid by this guy who's hosting this event. He's like, we need beer. And so he hires Burt Reynolds and Buford T. Justice. Jerry Reed, who wrote the song Eastbound and Down, which I'm sure you've heard. They have to... So I guess this is a thing. Like when you're truck driving, you have a guy in a fast car called the Bandit who keeps cops off of you.
I've heard my dad calls it the Rabbit, but that's when it's just a line of cars. The person who's like the sacrificial prey. But yeah. So
yeah, that's basically the plot. Is they're just fucking with Buford T. Justice.
Okay, that's good.
It's a very good movie. I enjoyed it. I was
so Buford T. Justice is like the sheriff, or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Jackie Gleason's character.
Another cop movie we should watch is Dirty Harry, and like the whole series.
I fucking love Dirty Harry. If we did a commentary track like series of every movie, let's see, it was Dirty Harry was the first one, Magnum Force. There's 5.
There's the first one. There's the next. There's one where he's paired with like a Chinese officer, and it's like, oh, he knows kung fu because he's got an ancient spirit in him.
I've seen. I saw the Deadpool, which was I think the 5th one.
Yes.
With Jim Carrey is in it. It's like one of his first film roles.
It's where there's teenagers and they're killing or not teenagers, but teenagers who have a Deadpool about who's gonna die next, and then somebody who got their script
Liam Neeson
stolen.
Is like the director, and he's like, got this Deadpool going.
So like someone who's like jealous of Liam Neeson starts just killing his cast, but he has like schizophrenia. And it's not the reasons you think.
Oh, okay. Because that was the last one.
Mm-hmm. There's the one where he's paired, or like there's a woman who's going out for revenge.
Yeah, he gets paired with a woman.
Yeah. There's some interesting things to discuss with Dirty Harry.
That woman was in the new Coen Brothers movie, Ballad of Buster Scruggs. She was the old lady on the stagecoach in the last anthology segment. I was like, who? I recognize that woman, and she's the woman from. Fuck, what's the third Dirty Harry movie? I think it's the third one.
Let's look at the Dirty Harry Wikipedia article.
Oh my god! Yeah, Dirty Harry franchise, probably.
Neo-noir action thriller.
Film series. Okay, The Enforcer. Yeah, that's the one she's in. Let's go to the article for that. What's her name?
It's
Time Daily. That's her name.
During when this was made, it was during the time of, I think Nixon just got into office, and then there was the Zodiac Killer.
Ah.
So that's the main inspirations.
Well, yeah, and the first one, like, it's sort of like a right-wing dad fantasy film.
Yeah, so that's the interesting thing to talk about with Dirty Harry, that if we do a commentary track where, is it critical of right-wing good guy with a gun mentality? Because the first movie is kind of positive towards it.
Yeah.
But then the next few kind of...
an anti-hero.
It kind of
he
seems
throws
like...
his fucking badge away at the
but
end
then he
of
just
People
suddenly
don't
gets
remember
it.
that. Yeah,
I just lost it.
We needed to make... I dropped it.
Dirty Harry. Is Dirty Harry a term? Like for a bad cop?
No, that's his name.
Oh, Dirty T. Harry.
Well, that's just what they call him. There's actually a funny joke in the first one where he's like looking in a window, and there's a thick woman in the window, like engaging with her partner, and then a couple of fucking like dock workers come out and start beating the shit out of him, and they're like, "He's peeping on Hot Mary." So apparently these people, like, fucking, you can't get in her face about it. She's fine with it, but stay away from the window. She doesn't like people on Hot Mary. It's just such a... But then, you know his partner's name in the first Dirty Harry?
No.
Chico Gonzalez. His name is literally Boy Gonzalez. But... he comes out and he like saves him, and he's like, "Let him go." These guys are just. He's like, they beat you up. You're a fucking police officer.
But yeah.
But the reason I brought that up was
Chico Gonzalez.
Oh, he ribs him for it. He's like, I see why they call you Dirty Harry.
Is he a dirty cop?
Well, I mean.
Technically, because he helps someone go on a murder spree for revenge.
He says that it's because they send him to do all the jobs that no one else wants to do, but it's really because he's a maniac who has a fucking he shoots 5 people to death with a fucking hot dog in his
chaotic good.
Yes, that's why they call you Dirty Harry, you fucking crazy person. Yeah. But there's a thing about action movies where there's not very many like conservative comedians, if you think about it. Like, what is it about conservatives that makes them just like not funny? But anyways, it's sort of like the inverse of that with action movies, where like, conservatives make like really good action movies because it's so cut and dry, it's so black and white.
Yeah.
And they just make. So that's the thing. Liberals they get to make the comedies, and the crazy fucking right-wing conservatives get to make the action movies, and it's all balance.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But
although nowadays I don't know if the same applies. Like the older ones definitely, but I don't know. I feel like everyone's so engrossed with politics that it's hard to enjoy something that comes from a different view.
Who was
He had a Smith & Wesson Model 29.
Yeah.
44 Magnum cartridge.
Which back in 70, I guess they would have shot it in 70, but it came out in 71, was pretty much the most powerful handgun. Now there's like the 600 Nitro Express that like hurts to shoot. like big tough guys, like it fucking hurts. They're 5 shooters because they can only hold 5 cartridges in the cylinder. Like, it's no longer the most powerful handgun, but I mean that's sort of the thing. That's like the subtext with Dirty Harry is he's a hunter. He's a hunter of men. He has like an animal gun, like an elephant gun.
Yeah. When the movie was released, increased the sales of the handgun. So that's interesting.
I heard that about Death Wish 2. Or sorry, Death Wish 3. Apparently he orders a Wildy Magnum, and apparently every time it airs, the fucking sales of that gun go up. But it's funny, like his big plan to like save the neighborhood is to mail order a pistol and kill everyone. We should watch Death Wish 3. We should definitely watch Death Wish 3.
What's the movie with the line? We're getting too sidetracked here, but
well, we're just talking about movies.
there's the line, Garbage Day. What, a Deadly Night?
I don't know. But the Commando opens somewhat similar with someone taking out his garbage and then immediately getting gunned down by Bill Duke.
Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2.
I've never seen that.
We should watch that too.
Sure, it's great.
But yeah, Dirty Harry influenced a lot of that cop dramas.
Oh yeah, definitely. It started the, cop, the super cop genre.
What's that one? I'm getting too old for this movie.
Lethal Weapon?
Lethal Weapon, yeah.
That started buddy cop.
Yeah. Did that come out before or after?
After.
Okay.
Because it's like Mel Gibson's character in that is sort of like an answer to Dirty Harry, where Dirty Harry just sort of he kills people and goes to bed and fucking doesn't blink an eye, whereas like Mel Gibson's character puts a fucking gun in his mouth in his like introductory scene, like he's troubled, he's like a tortured character, whereas Dirty Harry just fucking is eating a hamburger. we can talk about that in the commentary track.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Fixated.
He zeroes in on this one point and just gets it completely wrong. So in the scene, Dirty Harry, he's eating a hamburger. I don't know. Yeah, you had to be there. But,
you had to be there.
Yeah. Anyway, what were we supposed to be doing again?
What's dirty? It's Harry Callahan. Callahan's a very strong cop name.
Yeah.
That's like
Irish.
a Rodriguez or a
Chico Gonzalez.
a Briggs.
There's this really funny scene when he meets Chico because he like doesn't want a partner, and he's like talking to him about it's like, so are you like a college boy? And he's like, yeah, I have like a degree in psychology or something. He's like, yeah, that's not gonna help you on the streets. And he's like, what do you play ball? And he's like, no, boxing. And he's like, oh, you're a college boy. Like, boxing's kind of cool. I can't make fun of that. Back to the fucking. It's really subtle. It's pretty funny. I like how do they have him listed here? No, they don't. But yeah, they listed his name is Fatso. Where is he on here?
Oh, here.
There he is, John Mitchum. Yeah, he's so good. He just calls him Fatso. And there's like one part where he's like, Dirty Harry's like, hey Fatso, could you fucking help me out? And he's like, sorry Harry, too much linguine. Now I don't know if he's talking about cumulatively over his entire life he's eaten too much linguine, or if he just fucking like devoured a bowl of linguine moments ago and he's got a bit of indigestion.
We need to watch this movie. This movie's so well written. Yeah, I can't believe it.
Dirty Harry's pretty great.
Anyway, we were originally...
But that character says the hard R N-word on screen, so we gotta cancel that.
The Joker movie's getting rated a hard R.
Oh man, I can't wait.
Yeah, I hear it's not very good.
Oh, Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix is a good actor.
He's a great actor.
It's just it's a DC movie.
Yeah.
It's bound to get messed up.
I don't know. Comic books are not supposed to be dark. I know there's gonna be people disagreeing. I mean, I guess Batman.
Depends on what kind of dark you're going for.
I mean,
everyone tries to be gritty.
Like, well, more talking about DC movies. Superman should not be dark. Like Superman,
yeah,
he wears fucking like bright blue.
But he's the Man of Steel.
It's such a bad angle to take with it. It's not interesting.
You can't do anything interesting with Superman to begin with, though.
No,
he's just
perfect.
Unbeatable.
Yeah.
Just
the only
planets.
interesting thing you can do with him is make him emotionally attached with someone and then kill them, and then he's like, oh. Well,
you could do something with Clark Kent. That'd be interesting. A Clark Kent series.
Yeah, maybe he, sort of the Spider-Man dynamic where it's cutting into his social life.
Because Lois Lane has a line where she says, like, what kind of world is it where we can recognize Superman, but we can't recognize Clark Kent? Because, Clark Kent himself is a really good guy, helping old grannies, and, like,
Oh, is he?
the world just doesn't notice guys like that.
Yeah. He's the real Superman.
That's it. And that's the movie. We'll pitch this to DC.
All right, write up a spec script.
Who owns DC? Is it just DC? Is
No
DC?
idea. Are they owned by Disney yet?
Not yet. But one day we're going to get the mashup Capcom versus DC crossover.
Oh my god!
We're going to see Joker fist fighting Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy.
We're going to get to see the Joker fisting Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Anyway, we were reading the Wikipedia article of podcasts.
Yes, that is what we're doing.
We could do a video podcast if we want to record it.
Yeah, we could. We have phones and stuff.
No, we could. I guess the phone camera is just as good.
Pretty much. Yeah.
The
I
audio,
don't have
you'd still use the microphone, obviously, but
sync it up. Then I'd actually need to do the burp clapper.
Let's not go into the details of this, though. Let's not pull the curtain, not reveal the
Peel
wizard.
the onion here. James and I are going to make a podcast called Peeling the Onion, but he's in British Columbia now. So.
What would Peeling the Onion be about?
Like, I have no idea. We have a couple episodes recorded.
That would be good,
but it's not very good.
Like, you get into the layers of something, or something unpleasant that you talk about. I don't know.
Peeling it back.
There's fruit fly in here. It's gonna bother me now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have a compost pile in my apartment. Just a giant pile of fucking.
I'm making jankum right now. If you don't mind.
I'm fermenting some mead. I'm sorry. Just trying not to kick them over because I'm really not supposed to be.
It's really not hard to get high. If you can just get high off your own sewage, I mean.
Exactly.
I'm surprised you can't just get high from holding your breath.
A cousin of mine, I guess he would be an uncle, maybe? No, yeah, I don't know. I think a cousin. He's an airline pilot. Mm-hmm. And he told us a story about apparently Yellowknife, or somewhere around there in the territories, is like one of the biggest consumers in Canada of Campbell's tomato soup. But it's because they take it and they ferment it and they get high off of it. So like Campbell's went up there to maybe I don't know, do some promotional stuff or film a commercial, and they realized everyone was just fucking huffing it. So they're like, oh dear.
Oh, one thing about pilots and drug use is that you can, if you want to be a pilot, you can have never taken LSD.
Really?
Because I don't know if it's a myth. I'm looking at the Wikipedia article right now. But there's something called flashbacks, are the reported psychological phenomenon in which an individual experiences an episode of some LSD's subjective effects after the drug is worn off.
No, Macdonald had a bit on that. He was like, people are saying, don't do LSD, you can have a flashback.
Oh, it's worth your money.
That sounds like a great deal. So I took it. It never happened to me. I never got a flashback.
Yeah. But they don't even risk it with pilots. You just can't be a pilot if you've taken it.
Are there some airlines where you have to have an atheist in case the rapture happens? I think I've heard of that.
I can't imagine. I don't think you're allowed to discriminate based on religion, but
there's a service that promises for a monthly fee. They promise to take care of your pets after the rapture.
That's
so they're
good
just
money.
Stealing money.
Yeah,
they're literally stealing money forever. It's a pretty good gig. We should work for that company.
We should start our own cult. What would our cult be on?
Yeah,
we follow?
We can give our people my kombucha that I'm brewing. We can. That'll be the ceremonial drink.
Because some cults, it's God's appointed. Other cults, it's just a guy who's really cool, like Ranish Puram. Have you watched the Down the Rabbit Hole on that? Yeah,
I have.
That's
Down the Rabbit Hole is great.
Down the Rabbit Hole in his old videos.
Yeah, and now it's
Frederick Knudsen. Is that his name?
Probably the K is silent, but yeah.
But that's a really good channel.
Yeah,
that's
really good.
S-tier YouTube channel for me.
It's like a subscribe worthy channel. Subscribe and hit the bell icon worthy channel, because when a video comes out.
Yeah, it's one of those high quality once a month.
Yeah.
YouTube channels.
I even watched the fucking hurdy-gurdy episode.
Although I feel like YouTube's just doing everything it can to ruin what happens
Yeah.
there. Because I feel like a
Yeah.
channel like that, you need Patreon, obviously.
Go to my Patreon, patreon.com/CYORCK.
Oh, you're not safe for work one.
Yeah. Wait, I mean,
Well,
yeah.
You can spell with a C.
Yes.
Oh yeah, how are we gonna link this to your art? Will this be linked?
It's actually it's linked on the Patreon, this channel.
Okay.
Our Lapti Neck. No, Lapti Neck was the original thing. Jedi Rocks. Our Jedi Rocks video is linked there currently. Should
we discuss a little bit about is that our episode 0?
Well, we don't want to peel the onion too much on this, but yeah, that's I would say that's our episode 0.
Episode I.
It's a little it's like a litmus test.
What's the Roman numeral for 0? Did the Romans even...
They didn't have one.
They didn't know 0 existed.
Now, I don't know if they didn't understand the concept, because I think there's a Wikipedia article on that, the concept of 0.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, it wasn't until... You know Alex the Parrot? That's a fucking Wikipedia article. That could be its whole other episode. But basically there was a parrot that could basically speak and had, like, theory of mind and, like, understood the concept of 0 and, like, pretty
I guess if
crazy.
something were to understand that, it would be birds first. Because,
Right.
like, monkeys have, like, ingenuity, but birds have intelligence.
Well, nothing other than a human has ever asked a question. They don't know that we know things they don't. However, Alex the Parrot, I mean, it's disputed, but he asked what color he was.
Oh.
And the researcher was like, "You're gray."
Have they not shown
an
him?
African gray parrot. He was looking in a mirror.
I guess, I don't know how... I guess birds, some of them can see extra colors, actually. They have more cones.
Yeah?
That go into, like, the UV. Then that helps when hunting in winter, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, birds have really good eyesight, hawks and owls. And
I like how on Wikipedia it lists them as Alex, in parentheses, parrot. Not Alex the parrot. You know, it's like...
Yeah.
Classification, parrot.
Not Alexa. I like how, like, characters where their middle name is T, and it just stands for the. Like Crow T Robot from Mystery Science Theater 3000. You ever watched that show?
Briefly. Like, I've tried to dip my toe into it, but it was...
In the not too distant future. I don't know, it's pretty good. I haven't watched any of the new episodes with, like, Patton Oswalt and stuff.
Oh, because they did a Kickstarter, right? And it was actually it was the biggest,
Really?
like, highest funded, like, online video Kickstarter until
Wow.
Critical Role beat them.
Oh,
And they actually
wow.
invited, is it David Hodgson, or what's...
Mike. Well, I only watched the episodes with Mike in them.
Okay.
Like the guy who actually started it. Because I don't know, he's got a way of speaking.
Yeah, but they invited him onto their, like, after party after the Kickstarter.
No, Joel. Joel
Joel.
is the guy who started it. That's the guy who I actually watch. Mike replaced him, and it just wasn't as good.
Just wasn't as good.
It just wasn't as good. The first season they had something really interesting going on.
Hmm.
Like the little intro with all the miniatures and the reverse photography intro. Like, it's just interesting. It's just these guys who had an idea, and they did it. Not entirely dissimilar to the Chase Mason podcast.
Speaking of...
Yes, I am comparing the Chase Mason podcast to Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Well, one day we'll have a Kickstarter, and
We will.
it will get $10 million, and we'll embezzle all the money.
Yeah, well, we'll give it to
just
David
flee.
Spade. Tying in full circle, ladies and gentlemen.
Anyway, Roman numeral, there was no 0, but they did have the word nulla, which is Latin for none. And
Because what was the... Because the first use of writing was just those dashes, right?
Mhm.
What's Indus Valley civilization? They like kept track of cattle sales or something, and it was with like tallies.
Mhm.
But
But
I don't
how do
think
you say you have 0?
because that's why they wouldn't. Yeah, they wouldn't need 0 because you're never selling 0 cattle. So yeah, let's see. We've been going for.
I guess you could use the letter N.
we've been going for 47 minutes now.
Okay, how long do you want these podcasts
I don't know.
to be?
Because, I mean, it's all one conversation. So, like, we can't really cut it up, can we?
Yeah, I mean, we could cut things out.
Everything leads into that.
There's some things that... Like,
Yeah,
this has been
it's true.
a winding road. I don't...
That's
I don't
true.
know. I guess it would be interesting to listen to. It's a conversation that you...
I hope.
Well, like with podcasts, it's like somebody's having a conversation and like you're on the bus behind them like, oh, so...
There's that famous image of the guy like sitting next to like the ice cream cart and just like laughing, like all the people. I'll put the video. But it's basically what it
pretending
is.
to have friends listening to a podcast.
Yeah, I'd say we could probably cut it
Okay.
now.
That's fine.
So yeah, the show. Did we come to a decision here on what the show is going to be?
I guess. Do you want it to be strictly one Wikipedia article, or do you want to do the hopping like we did?
Yeah, we can.
I think hopping is more interesting.
Yeah, it's.
We start with something like a
Mhm.
interesting Wikipedia article,
Yeah.
but then we jump around. Because that's the whole beauty of Wikipedia. You fall into rabbit holes.
Yeah.
We're going down the rabbit hole.
Okay. So this will be episode I : Dirty Harry,
Down
John Mitchum, kombucha,
Norm Macdonald.
Norm Macdonald, Bob Einstein, Indus Valley.
It's like a YouTube video with like spam tags. Show up
Title.
Children's toy media.
Peeling the onion. Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope you people enjoyed this.
You can find the Chase and Mason podcasts wherever podcasts can be found. Right now we're on Media Monkey,
We're on Podwalk,
Newsfire,
Winamp,
Juice,
Zune,
Banshee,
Foobar 2000,
Antenna Pod,
Overcast,
Feedbooks,
iTunes,
G Potter,
iTunes,
VLC Media Player,
Banshee.
the newspaper.
You can find us in the Calgary Post.
In the Calgary Post, if you go to the bottom, there's this like little ticker tape. Just take it to like your nearest nuclear silo, and they'll be able
I'm
to
pretty
play
sure
it.
you said nuclear.
It was a little strain there,
Do you naturally say nuclear?
but I correct it every time.
Okay.
Like it's naturally nuclear,
Yeah.
but then like I'm like shit, that's wrong, and
Nucleus.
immediately correct myself.
No, you said nuclear. You said it right.
I don't think I said that. I think I strained.
No,
to
just
say
now
it.
you said it right.
Anyway, this has been the Jason Mason
The
podcast.
Jason Mason
This is going to be a recurring bit where I pronounce things wrong, and Chase has to bring it up every goddamn fucking time.
That's my thing. That's my.
Anyway, this has been Dirty Harry.
This has been Tyne Daly. Oh, no, I said that wrong. Fuck.